Hey everybody, I appreciate y'all showing up to this podcast again. I've been doing these more regularly lately, and there was a long drought on these podcasts for a while, but I mostly just stopped doing content creation in general during that time. But it's kind of like we're kind of kicking back up into normalcy, I guess, a little bit in fighting game land, and I kind of got the energy to do this to do this shit again after it got sucked out of me near that COVID era for a multitude of reasons. But this time, I'm having this is actually the first time I've done a podcast with multiple people that aren't people I know, locally. This time I have Aroo and Andyocr with me, and they're both, I remember I talked to Andy about how he got into SNK games. I know Aroo's been playing SNK games for a while now. It'll be fun to kind of talk about Samurai Showdown now that it's kind of in that state of settling down. There's not going to be any more patches. There's not going to be any more anything. And then KOS on the horizon. I know all of us going to play it, but yeah, it's good to have them on. So both of you guys, I guess Aroo first. What's up, man? What you been up to?
Hey, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. It's really nice to chat with you again. It's been a minute, like we were discussing a little bit before we went live. Well, before I start, let's let Andy introduce himself.
Yeah, what's up, Andy?
Hey, what's going on, dude? Back again.
Yeah,
dude, the sequel. 3 years later, we're back.
It's been forever.
Yeah.
But that was back when Samurai Showdown was like kind of
Yeah.
in its highest point, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's on his way out right now with KOF coming through and everything. Like you just saw the CEO thing. They announced KOF in it. And I don't expect them to announce Samurai Showdown for any big major event outside of like side games at this point. Because the SNK game thing has been taken over at this point by King of Fighters.
See, I don't know about that. I feel like the bigger ones, like your combo breakers. Well, I guess CEO is a big one, but I don't think CEO will do it. But I think combo breaker might, and I think Frosty Fausting might actually do it as well. So I don't know. Both of those, the Chicago tournaments, they like to put a spotlight on the games that even if the player base isn't that big, as long as there's passionate people playing them, they like to have them on.
That's why I love the Midwest.
Yeah,
I've only been there once. I love it.
Yeah, no, those tournaments are great, honestly.
Yeah, the all the tournaments local to me, like CEO and final round doesn't exist anymore, but final round and they kind of, if it wasn't a main game, it was pretty much up to somebody else to make it happen. And that responsibility of running the bracket and streaming it and all that stuff was just on them. And they would just hands off. Like, hey, if you want to play Samurai Showdown, we have this little section over here. You can have 2 setups and maybe, you can figure that shit out, right? Shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it is. I've never been to Frosty. And I've never been to any other tournament. The furthest, as you guys know, the first time I ever flew was for Lunar Bout. And
you are a country boy. You've never left your city until that point.
Yeah, and that was
crazy.
Fun. I went to New York, got COVID, and came back.
But one time you leave the city, you catch the worst disease ever.
Yeah, I knew I should have never left.
Yeah.
But the pizza was good, and that was worth it. Not just the pizza, though. Meeting everybody was great. It was nice meeting everybody all at once. That was the first, because the only reason it was a big deal for me, because I never really traveled on my own. On top of, I've also never traveled that far. So meeting everybody and everybody being so welcoming was great. It was also good that I didn't look like a fraud. That was the best part. That was the greatest fear. I don't want to travel all the way up here and then look like a fraud and then leave.
Word. That's always a danger when you travel, right? Is the danger of drowning in pools. It's the fear everybody has, and it's happened to me. Eventually, it'll happen to you too if you travel more, bro.
It's inevitable. It's just a numbers thing. I can't always make it out every time. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get bodied by some shit I'd never seen before at some point, and just be like, "Fuck," should I know better? That happens to everybody. I mean, shit, fucking. I'm pretty sure both of y'all have drowned at some point, right?
Oh yeah. I'm sure Aroo has. He's mentioned it in our Discord conversations a couple times.
Yeah. No, I've definitely taken losses. Even after like I sort of got clout or whatever, I lost in pools at ECT. But even before then, I was just I was a bracket filler, and I wear that title proudly, because those guys are important.
I used to do that. I used to just enter tournaments. I had no idea. I was like, I'm not gonna win, but take my $10.
Exactly.
Because why not? Because I'm gonna lose, and then go do the thing I want to do anyway. And at worst, I'll just be in the back playing as many games as possible with people, right? So it wasn't that it wasn't that bad of a rap, really.
Yeah, you're supporting the culture, right?
Yeah, I was there to lose with pride and then get better at the same time. But
yeah, I feel like those big tournaments is for experience for the most part. Like most people don't go there expecting to win outside of like your top 5 to 10%, like echelon players.
Probably even less than 5-10%, bro. I mean, like realistically, there's only so many people that like have a chance at winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe the guys that just want to place really high, like top 8. Most people's goals, the guys that like barely make it top 3 or top 8 at their own locals, when they travel out far, I think their goal is just to make top 8.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like the strength of the local scene, right? Like some people, their goal might be to just make it out of pools, and I think that's that's fine. It's everybody grows at a different rate, and everybody learns differently, and that's the journey is the experience.
And sometimes it don't fucking matter, because if you're me, you're just gonna go and play Street Fighter and lose to Dawson every time. It's so annoying. I think I've lost to Dawson and bracket at every Street Fighter tournament I've ever entered, and it's always been like F Champ, fucking Arturo. For some reason, I've fought both of them like multiple times in multiple Street Fighters. It's the most annoying shit ever. Do you have like demons like that, or just like a character? You're like, why again? Like again?
I think I mentioned it. It's fucking Leo in Guilty Gear Strive. Like the 2 tournaments I've been to, KIT and this most recent one, Frosty. I played against 2 really good Leo players, and they just outclassed me so hard. I feel like I don't know how to play the game at all. And I don't know. It's like the most depressing thing to do after you unplug your controller or whatever and just walk off. Like the limpest handshake I give them.
Yeah.
Like, man, like, why did I even practice this game?
Just to get loose to the same character again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take anything away from them. They're good at their characters. I'm just like so disappointed that I had to play against this guy and this character.
For me, I think my character is probably Charlotte from Samsho. I think I have a pretty bad record against Charlotte, even because there's so many of them, right? But like the good Charlottes, or like not even the good Charlottes, but even like the mid-level Charlottes, they'll give me trouble. Or they used to back when Charlotte was still played. So yeah, I guess that's my answer, Charlotte.
Does no one play Charlotte at all anymore? Because like Charlotte to me is just so strong on paper that you can't make her bad unless your fundamentals are just bad.
I think like we're like 3 years into the game. I feel like she's kind of one-dimensional. Might be just like too boring for most players that still play this game at this point.
I gotcha. Actually, I actually want to talk about this. So, I haven't been playing at all since Lunar Bout. I played once in a while. Like, I'll be like, hey, man, you want to play Samurai Showdown? Like, once every, like, month. I'll just sit down and play with my roommates or something. And we'll just, Samurai Showdown's so fun, man, to, like, just bust out. Because this is such a crazy game. So, when I just sit down with my friends and play Samsho, it's so much fun. Because it's just, like, you get on, you fucking play 50 games, there's E-Sens flying everywhere, people losing their swords and shit. It's fun. But I haven't never went back to competing again because, obviously because of COVID, right? Because offline wasn't a thing. And you guys have already heard from me 1,000 times. I just don't care for net play for Samurai Showdown because the way the game works is just too fucking precarious for me to enjoy. When
I'm with you, bro.
It's too precarious. Like that's why like when I watch net play tournaments, I feel like for the longest time when I watch like Ronin Rumble, it's just dominated by like there'll be some players playing like solid, and then there's like the other like 90% where it's just dominated by jump heavy slash.
Yeah.
And
yeah. It looks super unorganized and kind of like sloppy in a way, but that's like how the online plays in this game, given what they give you, like the infrastructure. You can't really play. like develop this online meta.
Like you can't actually sit there and then plan to deflect somebody. You can, but it has to be like 30 frames ahead.
Right.
You had to have just known for a fact they were going to swing.
It's funny you guys mentioned like how ugly it is watching it online. And I totally agree 100%. But also I think it's important to acknowledge that also offline the game, it's not a pretty game. It looks kind of sloppy in a lot of even like high level matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
It doesn't look good. But
I mean, just watch Frosty with like Clorox is a really good player, but his style of play, it's like overwhelmingly sloppy where he makes everybody scramble.
Exactly. Yeah, he forces the scrambles.
Yeah, it's an effective way to play, but it's super hard as a like casual looker to like go on stream and just watch this guy just do jump heavies back and forth catching people.
it takes a certain level of skill to like make that not happen in Samurai Showdown, and I think that's why it looks so bad sometimes. Is I don't think the pool. I feel like obviously the game we lost a shitload of players out the gate because the net code and like whatever else surrounded the game, right? So we immediately lost everybody, and then the people that are left, I don't think our pool of players for this game, the skill level is not like where Street Fighter is, I guess, in terms of like there's a certain level of understanding of neutral in Street Fighter from a majority of like the top like 200 players, right? But
yeah,
like,
no, I think I know exactly what you're trying to say. Where it's like the players that are left, like it's our player base is kind of like there's a lot of gaps in our knowledge, right?
And all they know is online, right? So I can't even blame them because really, if they're gonna play online, the way they play, it's just that's the only way you can play. It's the only way you can play online. It's like to do anything else is suicide. Are you gonna really try to sit there and whiff punish? Like that's crazy.
It's difficult to play that way in Samsho. Even offline, it's difficult to like play defensively with punish, react to everything, anti-air everything cleanly. You know, it's tough.
Yeah, it's too hard. Like I don't blame anybody for the way it looks. Unfortunately, this is what happens when your infrastructure is so poor, right? Like if the net code wasn't so awful, maybe we could have like as a unit leveled everybody up in order to like establish a stronger neutral game, so that maybe the high level play wouldn't just evolve into like some like top 2 or 3 play solid, and then like everybody else is like fucking scramble city.
How do you feel about it, Andy? Since you're like probably one of the best players in the country right now.
Yeah, for sure,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, what do you got?
I do agree. Like, it is like because online play is so bad that when we get offline, we're still in that online mindset for the most part. Like, I was sad that pools weren't recorded. Like, you could watch play on top 8, and it was kind of sloppy. But if you watch pools, it was 100 times worse. Like the first couple matches in pools for like the earlier pools, it looked like. You know how you have like a dead leg from sitting down for too long, and then when you get back up, you're kind of just like wiggling your leg, just trying to get into the motion.
Oh yeah, I know.
It looked like that. Like people just didn't even know how to dodge, deflect, like getting caught by run up grab from like full screen and all that, like stuff that you normally it shouldn't happen, but it's happened because we haven't seen each other in a long time and we haven't played with no delay, you know. So, oh man, it was really bad. So if you think top 8 was sloppy, oh my god, dude. Maybe it was a good thing they didn't record pools. It would have been disgusting.
I watched KIT, and honestly, when I was watching, I was like, "Fuck, man, this looks awful."
I mean, yeah, it's kind of sad. Like the game could have been it could have evolved a lot more than where it's currently at right now. Is all I'll say about it.
Yeah, because so like obviously I'm not the best Samurai Showdown player, even back when I was playing, right? But I only played offline, so my idea of what the game was going to evolve into, it never came to be, because what I had in mind, it never happened. Because before it could happen, we had COVID, right? And then
what were you expecting, like a more defensive game?
I was expecting it that I knew Shizamaru was going to be gross. But I expected that once the patches started rolling in, that really high level defense was gonna win outright because of just defend, stance break, and deflect and dodge. Like when mastered, it creates way more opportunities to kill somebody than being offensive. So I thought for sure that that's how it was gonna go. But when the online is opposite, like those almost all those mechanics are garbage because you can't dodge on time reactively, you can't deflect reactively, and then just defending multiple buttons is also damn near impossible online. Because I was like, we're just gonna get to the point where we're gonna just defend Hiroshiro's entire weapon flip technique, like easy, or we're just gonna get to the point where we just defend fucking Jubei's weapon flip and just get a free fucking rage bar. That was how I thought about it, right? It's like that's the inevitable way we're gonna get to. And then playing defensively was gonna be king, and Shizumaru's like super gross because the longer you wait, he gets tapped. Like he gets crazy downpours so strong that he kills you. But it never got there because there's no way for it to be that way because the only practice you get is gonna be online, and it's just so bad that those things I'm talking about will never be a thing you can do online. It's impossible.
You know, Royal Psycho. You have to watch his matches from Frosty. If you watch his match, watch the one against Goro. Even though he lost, it was probably the sickest display of defense I've ever seen anyone play. Like he just defended the second hit of every jump C, and then he did the push block every single time. So this was like him practicing offline or whatever, right? But like the way that you explained it, I felt like guys like Royal Psycho do benefit from offline play because of all the stuff that you said. And online, he could probably never practice for that crap. But I feel like Royal Psycho, the way that he's playing the game, eventually it would get like that, where everybody's like block string or like obvious jump ins would get push blocked and all this shit. So I feel like there's only a certain group of people that could break through that defense that he puts out. If you ever want to watch Samsho and watch defensive play, that's probably the main guy you want to watch.
That shit's super frustrating to look at. Only because he's playing a character that's running around like crazy, right? So you get desperate to hit him, and then when you go for it, he hits you, and then hits you or fucks you over.
Dash, he could cancel the backdash into a special move every single time you try anything funny against him, right? So like, there's only I can only think 3 or 4 guys that could break through his defense. Everybody else is just getting washed.
Yeah, that I saw him play. I thought that was pretty good. Obviously, if you don't know anything about the game, it looks like he's just fucking jumping around like a crazy person. But
that's how all levels of the game look to people that don't play Samsho. Just to be honest, because like it's ugly. it's fucking ugly to watch. Because like there's all this jumping around. Jumps are really strong because they're so fat. They come out so quickly. Jumping normals are really strong. Anti-airing is really difficult to do. So it just looks ugly. But like you guys said, like it's being able to play defense in a game environment like that is really difficult and really, honestly, really impressive.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. Defense, I think in Samurai Showdown is the strongest thing possible, but it's just not going to ever be fully realized because, honestly, by the time, sadly, I don't want to be I stopped playing Samurai Showdown competitively already, so I can say for sure that when I get King of Fighters, that I hope that eventually we get another Samurai Showdown game with good net play, like this one that's coming out. And then I can get another go at this game. And hopefully it's close to the old one, or it's like a mesh between 5 Special and the old one. And so that it's still approachable, but it has something more in-depth mechanics.
But what if we get Samsho characters with rollback in a game like King of Fighters?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Would that be okay?
It's not, but it is. Because I still get to play Haomaru and like characters like that, right? So if they put characters like Haomaru, Temtem, and fucking King of Fighters, I can still play them in rollback, but it's not gonna be a Samurai Showdown game because King of Fighters.
Yeah, man, it's not the same at all. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Samurai, because like King of Fighters is so fast. Like, there's no way you could implement Tam or Earthquake to give a short hop. Like, that'd be insane. Like, that'd be crazy. But it's still fun. It's still you still get to play your characters, right? It's just like a CVS too, right? You can play Dakaru and Haomaru, but it's not Samurai Showdown, right?
Word.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. I mean, it'll help me it'll help me deep inside, right? It'll fill the hole in my heart a little bit to where I can like be like, well, you know what? This is the closest I'm gonna get for now.
I mean, personally, I haven't really felt like a desire to play much Samsho lately, just because of the KOF excitement. But whenever I do get the itch, I can always boot up 5SP because you guys know I love that game and it's got rollback. So I didn't mean to say it like that. Pardon me, all the Samsho 7 people. I did not mean to say it like that, but I can play that game whenever I feel like it, and I think it's great. So.
This is the Samurai Showdown KOF podcast talk. That includes all Samurai Showdown games that came.
Okay, great.
So I don't really give a fuck. I don't have a cross to burn on this because everyone knows I love Samurai Showdown like crazy, and I did a lot of work to like help other people get better. But at the end of the day, I gotta call it what it is, and just. If I want to play a Samurai Showdown, I feel like if I want to even try, I really do feel like I just need to play 5 Special, because at least in 5 Special, even though I don't like the hot mechanic, at the end of the day, I can still play 5 Special as intended.
Yeah, you're still playing the same game that you would play offline.
Yeah, it's intended, right? So if the shit I get with y'all fucking me up on 5 Special online is not going to be worthless. It's going to translate offline. So it's worth more to me to do that. But I like 7 more. Obviously, I like 7 more because I like more grounded, deliberate like decisions. And then like 5 Special is so fast, and like the fucking options, like the fucking option select, it blows my mind every time it happens.
Bro, trust me. At higher levels, I think it slows down quite a bit. It's kind of like how you're imagining 7 would evolve. You know, if the game got more of a chance, it's difficult to get anything done if people are actually ducking your throws and shit.
No, I seen when people play that game correctly, like at high level 5 Special, I see people are way more hesitant to do anything because if you blow a lead in that game, it translates them into getting like way more resources, and then at the end of the game, if the guy was fucking you up, he gets fucking state of nothingness really early. And then you're fucking dead. If the other guy's really good, you're probably dead. Like if he has a full bar of state of nothingness, he's probably gonna fuck your shit up.
It depends on character, but you're right. You're right. It's very powerful.
Well, I was playing Ukiyo, so that shit felt super fucking powerful.
Oh, yeah, it is very fucking powerful.
When I was winning with Ukiyo and I got the state of nothingness off really early, I'm like, damn, this is busted. They just have to hold this, and then just boom, boom, dead.
You earned it, bro.
Yeah, it's not like it's unfair. It's just like damn, like get fucked.
Yeah, no, meter management in that game is really interesting, and I think that's one of the main strengths of that game.
I want to play it more, but I just never found a character I enjoyed that much in that game. Because Tam Tam is like one of my favorite characters, and he just feels so bad in that game. His walk speed is so bad, and I feel like my best tools are sweep and command throw, and that's really it. Most characters, when I hit him with the instant overhead in that game, it's just like I'm gonna die. Especially if they have if they have state of nothingness, I'm definitely gonna die. So it's so fucking jank. But the top characters in that game, like when I watched like Kusarageto and like Ukiyo and like Charlotte, characters like that, they definitely are playing like a much high. It just looks like a much more fast paced samurai. Like it feels like a really fast paced 7. And the only reason I say that is because in 7, when you're just sitting there waiting for your opponent to do anything, in 5 Special, you can actually deliberately make them approach you by turning your rage into the state of nothingness meter. And so you can bait people forcibly to make them approach you. And so it's fast to me because you're not actually ever just sitting there most of the time in 5 Special. You're actually just like, okay, well, hit. Okay, jump. Okay, hop. Okay, hit. Okay, back. Okay, are they gonna just wait there? Okay, I'm gonna just charge my meter. It's like you're always doing some shit. You're like aggressively defending. So it just looks really fast.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I like Samurai Showdown. You know what? Really, I could talk about 5 Special and 7 together because really, at the end of the day, the characters are really what carries Samurai Showdown to me. They're really, really cool. Just the characters are cool. So in 5 Special, they look cool doing the things they do, and then in 7 they look cool. So I could play either or. It doesn't really matter. I just wish 7 was more. 7's just my preferred one, right? So obviously I'm gonna want that game to do well, but but if Samurai Showdown 5 Special does well and everyone's like, well, you know what, 5 Special is fun, so let's all play 5 Special. Like everyone that like if gets introduced and 5 Special blows up and it has a huge fucking following and we can all play online and shit, that's benefits. That to me is great as fuck too, because the game characters are so cool. It's just such a waste for the game to not be bigger. Like that's how I look at it. This character is just so cool. Like it's just like fuck. Like y'all can't like SK. Y'all can't get your shit together like once for this game or something. The characters are fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're definitely cool. 5SP is in a weird spot right now. It's difficult to get people to pick it up for a number of different reasons. And I know Sugar Bear and Polar Bear have been trying. JD as well. And they've all been trying to run it to get more interest. But it's hard because it's an old game and people aren't really interested right now.
It's way easier to get people to play a new game. That's why like King of Fighters 15 is like there's a lot riding on this to me.
Yeah.
It's a lot riding on this shit.
I mean, look, like Andy picked up KOF because 15 was on the horizon, right?
Yeah.
I picked it up because it had rollback.
Oh, word. Okay.
I picked it up because it had rollback. Yeah, 100%. I didn't even know if I was gonna play 15 or not. I just picked it up one day because I was like, all right, it has rollback. Everyone's tweeting it, so it's on sale for like $5. But yeah, it's a good game. I mean, if you're into the series, I would always suggest to go back to the older games just to see like you can kind of see how the game gradually gets better once it gets to like 13 and 14 and stuff, and like a lot of changes that make sense. If you go straight from like King of Fighter, go straight to 15 or whatever, and you start bitching about little things like throws and hops and stuff, you don't understand the natural progression. Let's say if you went back to 98 and you see like how more fucked up it was, you learn to appreciate the new games a lot better.
You know, I played KOF 98, I think like 3 days straight, and when I had to final lab something in that game, that's when I stopped playing it because the training mode in that game is garbage. And it wasn't deliberate like, man, this game sucks. It was more like, you know, if I can't lab this game effectively 1000%, I'm going to really struggle because I have people throwing fucking Reppuken from full screen with geese and making it unblockable.
Oh, yeah. Okay, stuff like that. I want to say that a lot of the retro games, a lot of the lab work comes from playing specialists, like guys that play the character that you're having trouble with, opposed to you going into the lab and trying to figure it out.
Yeah, like I just want to lab what I can punish in that game very well, right? I was like, well,
that is hard to do.
It's really, yeah, that's really what it is because I'm like, this is hard, and then the only way to set it up is some weird convoluted recording system in that game, and I said, fuck this. I was like, fuck it, man. And by the way, if y'all listen to this, 98 is fucking fun and it's fucking fantastic. It's probably one of the funnest games I've played as of late. It's more fun than I had the most fun playing that game, honestly, out of all the games I started playing again. Even more fun than Blaze Blue. But my problem was that I would just run into some fucking guy who's been playing forever. And then I don't care about losing, by the way. It's just the issue is that I couldn't go to the lab and then see why I was getting fucked. I couldn't replicate it because the recording's so shitty that I couldn't like, hey, well, this guy's doing this shit from full screen. Is there anything I can do about it? No, I can't fucking record this correctly and time it, so I don't really know. I just did lose to this guy. I have to lose to this guy that's taunting me mid-match over and over again because he's been playing since he got his fucking teeth removed. And
that's a Zoomer mentality. You gotta go boomer style. Like you have to go back to how if you were in the arcade, how would you punish this?
Dog, I would Rugal.
Yeah,
just like
training mode does not exist. You had to play in that mindset back in 98 when there was no training mode.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
But, yeah.
It's fucked up, but you're right. But yeah. I want a fucking training mode that works because I can't always. So, like, here's the reason why I can't let shit go. If I play this dude and he plays a specific team and he's good and he bodies the shit out of me, that's fine. But if he beats me 4 times and leaves, I'm not going to find someone else online to play like that with that team, with that amount of skill, and beat me. Like, I can't replace this guy. This guy's a specialist. He's been playing forever. I can't just find one of these guys on the streets. I need to fucking do it in training mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the frustration. If it was a game like Strive or some shit, where, like, there's, like, 2,000 people online, then sure. I would just keep readying up until I find more people to play that game. But, like, at most, you know, in 98, I'll play, like, if I hop on, there'll be, like, 7 rooms. And the game's great. Like I said, it's fucking fantastic. It's just that at most, I see 7 rooms in the player lobby at a time. So I can't find the geese that throws fireball named Esteban Rodriguez. And he whiffs command throw and then taunts me mid-round. Like, I'm not going to find that guy again. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you found him. You could just play me.
Yeah, that's what Aroo does. You just describe what Aroo does as a round opener every time.
That shit's so annoying. I know I can fight you, Aroo. I'm just talking hypothetically, like if I was...
I feel you. It's frustrating not being able to lab effectively, and luckily 15 I think is going to fix a lot of those problems. 15 has a modern training mode that we got to try out. The game removed a lot of like the janky bullshit. It still has some janky bullshit because it wouldn't be KOF without it, but I think a lot of like the retro game bullshit is gone.
Yeah, so SNK is the first. So SNK, the first time I ever made a video as content ever in my entire content creation history, which was before I even knew I wanted to make anything, was because SNK put out KOF 12, and I hated them so much for making this shitty ass game that I had to make a review on how shitty it was so that no one would ever buy KOF 12. And and so my history with SNK is that I love SNK and they just disappoint me constantly. And
bro, that's everyone's history with SNK.
Yeah, it's the worst, man. I'm like, damn, KOF 12 sucks. Fuck this shit. I'm not buying KOF 13. KOF 13 comes out and they're like, damn, this game's pretty good, but we can't play online. I'm like, fuck. I guess this game's fucked. KOF fucking 14 comes out. Shit fucking don't work online. Well, this game's kind of fun. It's busted right now because of, Nakaruru and like certain characters, but net play doesn't work. So even then, I just can't fucking enjoy it. And then like, finally, I feel 7 comes out. I'm like, this shit's fucking amazing, but the net play sucks. Like, this shit's super bad. Like, what are we doing here? And then KOF 15 is gonna be the first game that SNK has ever released, and there's a slight chance that I can play people that live outside of my state, and we can finally enjoy an SNK game out the box without having to worry about shit. Obviously, it's gonna have problems.
Hey, don't jinx it right now, dude.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's gonna have problems. It's gonna have problems. Obviously, it's gonna have problems. All fighting games have problems out the gate. Fucking Strive doesn't even work in South America right now, so there's a good chance that something's gonna be fucked. But the reason why I'm in high spirits because this is probably the first time ever in the history of SNK making a game that this feels like a correct response to complaints that people made. That's really it.
Dude, like even the little things like music, having your own set list of like music you want to play, having actual DLC costumes that's purchasable in the United States. That was like a big step up from Samurai Showdown 7. And I think everyone voiced their opinion outside even the netcode, like little things like that. Having colors and things here and there and stuff. Like they addressed every little thing that we were bitching about for about 3 years. Yeah.
That's why it pisses me off because like we had to fight for that. When I say we had to fight, we didn't have to fight SNK for that. We had to fight SNK fans for that.
Yeah.
That's why it pissed me off.
I was in the trenches.
Yeah, man. Aroo was like the biggest guy. He's like, fuck these guys. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Obviously, here's the thing, man. We get it. SNK is like a game that's beloved. SNK is a beloved company internationally. And these people have been playing these games, regardless if they work or not, like, forever. So when we say, hey man, it'd be nice for this game to be playable, and then we get guys like, no, it works for me. Like, I can think of a couple guys that do that shit who are well known. It works for me. You guys just need to deal with it. Like, when you get that kind of response, you can't help but feel like some kind of vengeance, because you're just like, damn, dude, do you actually like this shit, or are you just like stupid? Like, because if you like this shit, you're not gonna allow.
Here's the thing. There are people that will say whatever because first of all they're well known, and second of all they want access. They want access to, they want to suck up to people is basically what it comes down to, so that they have access to like whatever opportunities. You know what I mean? So you got to separate the real from the bullshit.
Yeah, I hate that shit though. That shit pisses me off because
I agree.
We're in the age of content creation and like personalities. So like, there's a lot of players online that make fraudulent content and then also play personalities to play like to be like the flute for SNK or Capcom or whatever company they're fucking fluting for, fucking Arxis, whatever company needs caping by some fucking fraudulent top player that has everything to gain by talking positively. Those people I never trust ever. It's just like, I know whatever you're gonna say, you're never gonna be angry at your company. So I can't trust you, because that means that they spat in your eye, you would just nod your head. So I can't trust you. As cool as you may be in person, maybe, and how good of a player you are, I can never fucking trust you. There's like no way. Luckily, I think there's way less of those guys and more of the people willing to critique somebody, right? But the only reason it sucks is because those guys have a following and a lot of people are just parents. So they're just going to see this guy. They're going to see fucking SNK Lover 69 with 40,000 fucking followers say that, man, these people are just bitching and moaning about everything. I just want a story mode with Mai. And then everyone's like, yeah, man, where's Mai? Like this. And I'm just like, dude, y'all don't want to play the game? Like, y'all don't want to play the game while with your friends? Like, it's just crazy. But I think it's good to know that there are level-headed people out here that can see this and be just like, okay, this guy's just gonna talk out of his ass. So let's just keep it moving and just talk over him, because there's no reason to engage this shit, right? Just talk over him and don't give him an inch. Like when we were fighting for the rollback netcode, we had to be adamant. Like everybody had to be adamant. There's no way we could ever let that shit go. We could ever let the guy go and be like, yeah, man, the lead netcode was fine. I expected everyone who played Samurai Showdown to some extent competitively to voice how shitty the netcode was for SNK stuff in general. And luckily Aroo, with his King of Fighters fucking front, was able to voice his opinion. And I think with everyone being really loud about it, we were able to convince enough people, or at least one very important person, to voice the shit even higher to get shit done. And I think whether these fucking assholes want it or not, these fucking mouthpieces for companies, whether they want to admit to it or not, people that complained for this shit got shit done. And unfortunately, they can thank us when they have their online world tour in like fucking 3 months from now, because we're still gonna have COVID and shit. When we have that shit, they can thank us, because now they don't have to play delayed netcode and have to play from fucking France to like fucking Cuba. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that was the thing I was afraid of the most, was that I guess it wouldn't get into like the heads of the devs quick enough, because like I guess with Samsho 7 they said that they can't retrofit it because it was already like done already.
Yeah.
Like I imagine if KOF 15 was already like halfway through the project or whatever, and they finally understand how important it is, they could just write it out and say, "Oh, it's too late already. We're already done with the development phase. Like we're implementing now," and then we would have all been screwed for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, wait for Samurai Showdown 8, and hopefully that has rollback.
Yeah, so I liked it that we cyberbullied them for a good 2 or 3 months. So
I was happy with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
thought it was funny.
It was a necessary thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's unfortunate that it was necessary, but you know what happened. Luckily, this is not the era of like the olden times where essentially all you could do is read a magazine and see what they were already going to do, and you weren't able to like. We could do post in a forum that they never read. We can directly message people these days and like tell them, like, look, man, I'm gonna level with you here. Ain't nobody gonna play this shit if you don't fucking do this. Because it's just, back then I can understand. Like back then, like Japanese developers not knowing about rollback or giving a fuck enough, I can understand, because at worst, I don't even know if people could write them a letter. But you know, the worst that's gonna happen is some dude on fucking SRK was gonna be like, man, this game's unplayable. And no one's gonna fucking read that shit. No one in Japan's gonna read that shit. No fucking community guy's gonna read that shit. And they're gonna just make another shitty game with unplayable netcode. But since we have Twitter, we can just message those guys and tag them directly. Look, is this the game you're proud of? And just show them like fucking the guy skipping 1,000 times. Like, look, show them the lobby not working. Just PS4 lobbies still don't work. Like, we just show them that, look, your PS4 lobbies still don't work. So, thankfully, technology has allowed us to get our hands on them in a way that is effective. But enough about that, because I feel mission accomplished on that, honestly, because that was the most important thing to me, was for them to do that. So mission accomplished. Now let's talk about this shit. King of Fighters 15. Now, Aroo, you're definitely on board for this. I know, because you're really, I can tell you're really, really excited about the game. So, what characters do you want to play when the game comes out?
Man, I don't know. I get that question a lot, and I really don't know. There's not any one character I'm particularly attached to. I know I have Iori as my Discord profile picture, and I do rather enjoy playing Iori. So I hope that I end up liking Iori in 15. Currently, I'm thinking of picking Luong, because I think she could potentially be really strong in 15, depending on whether, if her EX Ren is still overhead. And I don't know. She's got like a really strong CD. I feel like she's gonna play the system really well. So I always like that character. I'm gonna try her out first, and then I don't know who else for a third. I'll have to really search.
What about you, Andy? Who do you want to play when the game comes out?
I guess all the characters I've been playing with all the retro games. Like, I've been playing a lot of Benny, King, K-Dash, Kula. And I guess in the beta, I was playing Chris. I thought he was pretty stupid, like really good character, because of like his ridiculous jumps. And the Shunei was pretty cool too. Like, I'm pretty sure they toned him down a little bit, but most of his BS is still there if you have the meter. Like, I was looking at all the KF14 stuff he could do. If he could do a lot of them in 15 still, and kind of like dish out the damage.
Yeah, the only thing that I noticed is like he didn't have wall bounce on the EX Rush Punch anymore, which is a good thing. But he has some new stuff to kind of make up for that. So I feel like he might be really strong as well. I mean, he's the protagonist of the series, or of this arc, I guess. So I think they're going to try to make him strong.
Yeah, with me, as long as you could do damage for the least amount of meter, I love characters that could do that. Like, a low damage, high damage, low execution, and like no resources were used or whatever. Like, the way that KOF 15 is played, it's a lot about resource management, because like the first beta, I felt so meter starved that like when I told myself when I was going to play the second beta, I was not going to do all those stupid quick max combos and stuff and waste all my meter.
Yeah, I actually noticed that as well. It felt like you got a lot less meter just overall. It felt like, honestly, the meter that you get from losing a character felt like it made so much of a difference in 15, even compared to 14, where they first implemented it, where I thought it was a big problem. I feel like now in 15, I'm thinking like, holy shit, please kill my character so I can get a fucking bar, please.
It's funny, because like when I played 14, I was like, this meter's trash. Because in 14, the only thing you use meter for me, when I was playing the first, I played it for like 3 months. I was like, well, meter is really just for max mode extension off of like a low confirmer overhead. And that's what it felt like, right? Because you can't access EX moves outside of max mode. But in 15, you can just EX all the time. Like, so you got bar, you can EX. And on top of that, there's a metered CD. Does it break guard? I can't remember how it works. But there's a meter version of that. And having access to your EX moves all the time makes you feel like you need more meter, because you're going to spend it more often in just playing. Because I really just cashed out. Like, King of Fighters 14, I just cashed out all the time. I was like, okay, jab, something super. Or just overhead max mode, something super. Or low max mode, something super. And obviously, when the game got more fleshed out, it was like jab, max mode, button, EX, full EX combo into super.
Yeah. And
now, I like that I have EX moves in neutral. Because now you can do more shit you don't need to have a full bar now in order to extend your shit out, right? You can just use your EX moves instead. And
that's what I love about 15, that like I feel like even at like eventually it's gonna get to like the highest level where there's stuff that's kind of like meter efficient and all this stuff. But I feel like when you're watching someone play their character, you kind of want to like identify them as okay, that's Aroo Ziori. Like you don't want it to get into like the Street Fighter 5 level where you can't tell the difference if I'm playing someone else's Ziori versus Aroo's because there's a right and wrong way to play it. Like the way that he's gonna play, he's gonna use meter for this and this and this. He's not forced to use it for just quick max combos. And with 15, since you add EX and you add like the armored CD and stuff, it adds like a new layer to the game where it makes you more unique as opposed to somebody else.
I also that's a good point, and I also think just the way that you cash out into damage, even not even just like the other metered options, but like the way that you do combos, you can cash out off of like DPs, for example. Like you could do a DP and then turn that into like a 2-bar combo by canceling it into a super, right? But like that would not be an optimal way to spend your meter in 14. But I feel like in 15, the way the numbers kind of shake out, that's totally viable, and you can do that, and you can be rewarded very heavily for anti-airing well or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like different play styles can be rewarding, just as rewarding as other play styles. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's really in, believe it or not, in like Strive and like 5, I just don't feel that. And Samurai Showdown was fun to me because different play styles, everyone played different, right? Everyone had their own idea. So to see that again, hopefully in King of Fighters 15, possibly, would be nice. Because I'm just so tired of games being like reduced to being like, well, if you don't play the way the developers wanted you to play, you're not playing efficiently, right? Like they have this one plan for your character, and if you deviate too much, you have to master that one plan to the utmost ability, and that's still hard. But I don't. It's not as entertaining for me as a player, I guess is the better way to put it, right? So I like seeing that shit. But hopefully King of Fighters 15, like they might. I just feel like it's gonna. I can just feel it, like it's gonna be a really good game. I don't know what it is. Just something about seeing some stupid shit in the beta, and knowing that it's probably gonna be in the final game, lets me know that it's gonna be fun.
I think my biggest gripe with the game, I'm pretty sure Aroo feels the same way, was how throws work, like the reversal throw mechanic. Like I could not throw out a meaty, or I couldn't time a meaty even off of a hard knockdown in like the first 2 betas at all. I kept getting grabbed out of it because I guess in all the old KOF games you could like time your meaty on certain wake ups where they can't throw it, but in 15 it's like all that's out the window. Like if you could throw, if you could wake up, you could throw. As long as you're in range, you could throw, and the range is kind of big.
Oh, you say
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, but like I feel like that just means that safe jumps are going to be more important than they were before, which I think is all right too. Like if you don't get like a safe jump off of a certain knockdown, then that's just the way it is, and either you have to like do like a micro shimmy or whatever when you get up close, or you just have to hold the fact that you can't be up in their face and run Oki like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair though, throws to me in King of Fighters are not very strong in general because you can't like frame trap into a real throw most of the time because the rule of the game is like you can't be thrown for like 5 frames or some shit, right? Like on hit or on block. I can't remember.
I'm afraid because I've watched 13 enough to know that certain characters have really fucked up throws. Like Benny could throw you into a full combo and shit off of like a regular throw.
I'm pretty sure that's a 13 only thing though, because they took all that shit out in 14.
Oh my god. Yeah, and it's just we haven't gotten a chance to play like Benny or Athena, those characters that did have it, to see if they put it back in or they took it out or whatever. It's just like I'm sure the first day someone's gonna discover some bullshit. We're all gonna like reevaluate what the beta was like.
Oh, either way, it's exciting. You know why it's exciting? Because when I trust the SNK to not give enough of a shit about the game to like let super busted shit run for a while. And then the game will build around that, and then they'll slowly buff and nerf certain things. Because really, I've gotten in such a fucking bad mood, because in the most time when I find things in other fighting games, the response in these newer fighting games is just to outright remove things in general. And I don't think SNK will just outright remove strats on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So if one character can do a throw into some bullshit, it may just be that one character can do it, and it's gonna be annoying. But I'd rather it be that way than they go, well, you know what? Every throw in the game is now negative 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's the route they're gonna take, and it's fine. I think it's fine. I can understand you not wanting to get thrown out of your fucking meaty over and over again.
It's not the fact that I'm getting thrown out of meaties. It's that when I go, I'm kind of sloppy with my safe jumps at the moment. But I guess if I'm going for a safe jump and it's sloppy, and their throw doesn't come out, their close C comes out and anti-airs me. I feel like an idiot.
No, that's that Darkstalker shit.
That's like that option select for mashing throw on wake up.
Yeah.
A lot of people's close C's are their anti-airs, so it like doubles up as them getting out. And like, the older I get, the more offensive approach I get to games. So I get like super annoyed when I see people get like easy way outs.
You ever played ST or Darkstalkers or Guilty Gear, like the older ones?
Yeah, I play like CVS2 and ST where people do bullshit wake ups, and you really had to be tight with it.
Yeah, it's the same shit to me, because like if you wake up with a button in Darkstalkers and it's a throw and they jump and they miss time, you just knock them out the air for free. That's like almost one button option select throw is like such an old shit to me. But
I mean, that's always been a thing in KOF where like you press back plus C or D or whatever as they land, and if they empty jump, you'll get the throw or whatever. I mean, that's always been a thing, and you always get like the close C or whatever if they fuck up their safe jump. I don't think that's a problem. It's just a matter of having a little bit more practice and getting those safe jumps down, because like you gotta really fuck up a safe jump to get close seed out of it.
Yeah, it'd be too late or too early.
Yeah, we're in beta. I was sloppy as fuck, but I was just like shaking my head every single time someone got out. Like, man, I really suck.
Yeah, man, that's a skill issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, just be happy you can even have a
I'm never
meeting.
gonna blame myself. I'm always gonna blame the game. You know that.
This game is garbage. I can't lay the meaty. I'm just happy I get to do meaties, like a real one. I'm just like, it's been so long since I got a new fight game where I'm just like, damn, I get to do a safe jump option select meaty. Damn, it's crazy.
I'm afraid of the grapplers of the game. Like right now, we haven't seen how Clark and all those guys play, and I'm just like, they give him back Frankensteiner, and people are running around getting grabbed on wake up and stuff. So, like a lot of things can happen now.
Having a good like armored command grab like Clark or like KOD might be good for blowing up like people that like to mash throw on wake up. They were already really good at that before, but since people are going to be mashing throw even more on wake up now in 15, since it's so powerful, I think those characters might, they might kill the scrubs even better. Yeah.
It always made me laugh that King of Fighters. So I have a friend who only plays grappler characters for the most part in like every fighting game he's ever played, and I told him he always complains about grapplers having inherent weaknesses through all fighting games that are really annoying to get by. He's like, I'm just so sick and tired of grapplers being garbage on purpose because people don't want to deal with getting thrown. And I'm like, look, man, if you really want to play a grappler, go play King of Fighters, because they don't give a shit. Like, they can run, short hop, they can do all the game mechanics and have a command throw, and it combos. Like, like at that point, if you like grapplers, go play King of Fighters, because it feels like they don't get shafted, really, on, like, mechanic-wise. Like, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I always felt that they were fine.
No, you're right. I think, so I normally play Daimon whenever I can. So I guess I'm a grappler player in KOF, which I would normally never, ever play a grappler character. But for some reason, I picked him, and I've been enjoying him. And I think he's just, even in games where he's not that good, it still feels like he can compete with, everybody.
It's because he's a grappler, and they don't make it so he can't, like, not play King of Fighters, right? He's just a character that's in King of Fighters that can also grapple. I don't know who I want to play. I know I want to play Kukri, because I always wanted to learn Kukri in King of Fighters 14, and I never played long enough to get around to that. So I know I want to play Kukri, and I don't know how he's going to play in this new game. Hopefully he plays pretty similar. Because when I watched the little sand clones come down, that shit looks cool. I'm also, a character I wanted to play. When I was playing 14, I really liked Mian, and she's not in the new game, sadly.
Oh yeah, those characters are not coming back.
Don't say that.
Come on.
I don't think
be honest.
I don't think Mian will, but I think like They might bring back like a Choi or something, because they don't really have that archetype of character in the game yet.
Oh, small annoying character.
Yeah, like the annoying, like fly around the screen, not really going for combos, but like going for like random hits here and there, that type of thing.
Yeah,
she's so cool.
Right now, I think the only character that has this is probably Mai, right?
Yeah, Mai is like the closest, but like you're used to like old Mai, right? But like in the newer games, they made her a little bit more like a standard character. She's still like pretty good at running around the screen and stuff and being evasive, but she also plays just like normal straight up rushdown pretty well.
Yeah, she just kind of plays standard. Like when I watched King of Fighters 14 match, she just kind of like, fireball, regular hit confirm, jump back, just regular shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like I played I played like 98. I think I messed around with 97 for a little bit too. Like the way Andy got redesigned was so weird to me. He started off as like a mix-up character, and now he's like a Shoto.
Yeah, he's like straight up Shoto in 14, and it looks like he's going to be like that in 15 as well.
My biggest complaint about King of Fighters was that growing up, the differences between characters was like there's a lot of characters. So my biggest problem was when I was growing up, I was like, why is half the cast Shotos from their own game? Like, why is there Kyo, Iori, Ryo, Robert, Yuri, and then like Terry, Andy? Like, the character archetypes are so close, right? And those are the characters coming from their own game.
Even like K-Dash is like a weird mix of like the Shoto archetype.
Yeah, like
Shoto is like a Shoto.
Yeah.
I feel it.
But look, I'm not one of those guys, right? I'm not like, oh man, everybody's a Shoto, right? I understand that the differences make the characters different enough, right? I just didn't understand why when they have a fatal. I know why. All right, I get it. It's still frustrating. I get why Team Fatal Fury is the three main characters because every one of these fucking fighting games had their own set of characters, and then there's just the main characters are going to be Shoto clones because back in the day, everyone had like this archetype as their main characters, right? So when they made King of Fighters and they bring these characters from their main game to King of Fighters, you end up with like fucking 4 teams made up of like fucking DP fireball characters, right? So it just
bro, even like modern games are still like that, where it's like every main character is a Shoto. Like you look at like Guilty Gear and like even like Melty Blood to an extent. Like he's kind of actually no, I can't even say that. Yeah, that game doesn't really have a Shoto, does it?
Not in a real sense. Like you don't have anyone run up doing like fucking like Infernal Divider or like fucking Volcanic Vipers. Like I don't think there's anyone like that in that game. But it's just King of Fighters it's by its own design where it brings all those characters from their own games together and their main characters are all Shoto-esque characters. Yeah. You're gonna end up with fucking 15 Shotos in half the cast.
Yeah, but like also Street Fighter even has a fuck ton of Shotos in it. Like if you look at Street Fighter 5, there's so many Shoto,
Yeah, there's like 10
characters. Yeah,
12 within their own.
I think that's just normal. That's normal for fighting games, and I totally don't mind it.
So long as they're spun in a way that makes them original, right? I don't really care.
Yeah, I think all the KOF ones are, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Terry is anything like anybody else. Like he technically is, but he's not, because I don't know anyone else that's crack shoot and fucking power dunk. Like those moves are definitely on their own tier. But Ryo's on thin ice. He's too close.
Yeah, that guy's pretty sick in 15. He has like an anywhere juggle, and like he just hits hard in general. I think you'd like him.
Ryo?
He's just really straightforward. Like he has like no tricks, but like whenever he does get the hit, like you said, he just fucking makes it hurt.
That shit hurts. It's sending you full screen and everything too. The spin kick that he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely like a good beginner character if you're trying to get into the series and stuff. You just want to do big damage off of like clean jump-ins. That's your dude.
When I first played the game, it was back in... I played 2002 and 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know Gato and T-Zoc were Mark the Wolves characters or anything. I didn't know anything about that, right? And when I played King of Fighters, I thought Iori was the coolest fucking character in the game in Adelheed.
He is, dude.
Just because the way he looks or how the way he plays?
He was the only character I could do an extended combo with because his forward punch into punch into the Rekkas was the longest combo I could do.
Damn.
So I thought he was cool. And then his super was cool, where he like fucking, or he does like the regular core circle forward, half circle back, and then he does the fucking pillar where he like slashes the air, and then he like does the headbutt that sends the fucking pillar. I thought that was the coolest shit ever. So him, I'd pick him, Adelheid, and I don't know, is that how you pronounce his name? The Rugus.
I always heard like Adelheid or something.
Adelheid.
I'm not actually sure.
I played him, Adelheid, Adelheid, and I played T-Zok. I actually played one other character that's like Beyond, and they never brought her back. To my knowledge, they never brought her back. I think she was only in 2003. It was a little girl that like had these little shoes that turned into like knives, and she had like a dive kick.
Was it like Momoko or something?
It was like Momoko or some shit like that, and she had like a multi-dashing dive kick thing going on, and it's just like Beyond. So I played that character too, but I think she was only in that one game. I don't think they ever brought her back because I never saw her again. Just a little
she sounds
girl.
annoying as fuck.
Yeah, she is annoying. She's not good in that game, but she's still annoying. That game was busted though. There was a character named Dulon, I think, and I think he had his own tier.
Dulon, the one with the stinky leg.
Yeah, the stink leg. That dude, I think he could infinitely juggle you in that game, if I remember correctly.
I feel like a lot of characters could in that game in 03.
But he could do it from full screen.
Oh, word, okay.
That's why he could. I think that if I remember correctly, that's why he was busted. Because I think he could do his forward kick and it would launch for under certain circumstances, and he could just juggle you. I don't remember how it worked, but he was fucking busted. But that's when I played King of Fighters. I played 2002, which I hated 2002, and I didn't. I'm a casual scum, so I'm just fucking doing whatever I think is coolest. And 2002. The sound of the game sounds so awful, and the game palette looks so dreary. It was like washed out to me. And then like 2003, I think they had some pretty cool characters in it, so I like the tag out mechanic. So that's what I play King of Fighters. So when I play King of Fighters 14, and like a bunch of characters' move lists completely changed, and like when I play King of Fighters 12, and the whole move list changed, and half the characters missing their fucking moves. And then I was like, this game's garbage. And I played 13, like way later. I'm like, okay, this is okay. And I played 14. I'm like, the moves changed again. I'm like, that was like, to me, King of Fighters to me has never been consistent in a way that I could tell somebody, hey man, you could just play this. Like, because I feel like if I tell them that, hey man, you know who's a good choice for you? Pick fucking Mai. She's this way. I can't say that for sure because they might fucking change her 3 of her moves or some shit. Like in such a way that she's not even like played the same way anymore. But I will say this: the characters seem to play close enough that it's not that big of a deal. I don't know, but I don't know for sure though. To me, it seems like the characters don't get changed so much that their entire play style is just completely like butchered. But I wouldn't know. Do you know Aroo, is that a thing? Like where they just get so fucked that like now a strat's gone completely, and then you have to like not play. You like this is an offensive character, but now his whole strat's gone, so he's defensive.
Aroo, describe K-Dash in 15 as opposed to 2002.
In 15, man, I don't know. I feel like he's certainly not 02 K-Dash because like he just doesn't move like that. You know what I mean? Like he's really fast in 02 his backdash is amazing. He's got really strong like jump D. They do nerf a lot of stuff if it's too good in like one iteration to another. But they also like sometimes they'll buff things randomly just like see if it's fun and if it works. But generally, I think they do a pretty good job of keeping like the spirit of the character alive between iterations of the game. Ever since I started playing like really seriously is when like I started playing with 13, right? So like I've only been around for like 2 releases, and the characters have basically stayed the same throughout all those releases, you know? So I have no complaints.
They have a whole set of move lists with every character they could just swap in at any moment.
They do, but they rarely it's like a big deal when they bring back like an old move, or if they remove a move, or if they give a new special move. It's kind of a big deal.
When I played 98, I was trying to play Blue Mary, and then I found out there's an EX Blue Mary who's like half move list is completely different. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I found out there's more characters like that.
It's cool because they get to save money on like developing sprites for whatever or new animations. They get to save a little bit of money on doing that while you basically get another new character out of it. I think it's great.
Yeah, to me, it's cool. Obviously, if you're not competitive, then you're just gonna pick whatever you like. But if you're competitive, you're just gonna pick the best move list. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, I think it's cool just to have the option to explore 2 different movesets for the same character you like. Because the buttons, for the most part, seem pretty much the same between the 2 different versions. It's just that the special moves are like so different that either, like I could pick Blue Mary with a taser or not. Obviously, the EX Blue Mary was just way better. When I finally found out what the EX Blue Mary could do, I'm like, this character is way better than fucking 98 Blue Mary. Holy shit. I was like, I'm just going to play this one from now on. But obviously, if I'm just like a hardcore SNK fan, like most people that play SNK games are not competitive at all. They're just people that sit at the house and then fucking just be like, yeah, well, I just beat my fucking arcade mode. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. You're 100% right on that. I think when I was getting into King of Fighters, I assumed that every person I run into was going to just like mop me up. But like the more I played, the more I realized like, there's a lot of casual players, like casual fans that probably don't even play outside of like computer or something, right? You're playing like story mode. So for the most part, I think with how the game is played and all this stuff, like a lot of stuff we talk about, it probably like maybe 5% or 10% of people that actually buy the game think about like overheads, changing properties, and even the throw mechanic I was talking about. Like it's probably not something they complain about.
Yeah, they don't care at all.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that shit. But like to us, yeah, it's a make or break or stuff like we can't spend more than like a couple of weeks on without getting upset or like switching up playing something else. But with them, yeah, like if you have good story mode, good music or whatever, it's replayable. Like they can play with their friends all day. Now that you can play online and stuff too, like I don't think they care.
Yeah, they should be happy that we fucking bled for that shit. We fucking died on the battlefield of rollback. It's for everybody's benefit, including them. So I honestly I hope everybody just enjoys it. This is all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, like I think early on when the beta, some of the players were like complaining that Red Kick's input changed, and people were actually upset, like the Kyo players. Because apparently, I guess I don't play Kyo. I don't know his motion, but like a bunch of Kyo players are like, I can't play this character because I spent like the last 20 years doing this input. Now it's changed. I was like, for real? Like, yeah,
it's different. I mean, that input sucks, dude. Fucking back, quarter circle back. It's really awkward. But I also think that if they just practice a little bit more, they'll be able to do it.
Did they explain why? Normally, when something like that changes, like input changes and stuff, like Viking's input change for this game, the recent game, for whatever, like obvious reasons, it makes it easier to Tiger Knee it. Like, why did they change his input for Red Kick?
They didn't explain anything. It's SNK, man. It's like think how long it took them to like join us in this century as far as like fucking like rollback and shit like that. I don't think like we're gonna hear very much from them like from a company communication standpoint for a long time. You know what I mean? Not to that level.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. For me, inputs change because there's overlapping inputs that mess up your combos or whatever.
Yeah, but that wasn't the issue though. That like Kyo doesn't have anything that's really gonna be an issue with that, in my opinion. I mean, maybe they thought differently because he does have like half circle back kick, but I feel like making the input change like that honestly makes it easier to get it misinputted, like with the half circle back. You know what I mean? And like certain characters too, like Dolores, she has that input, but she doesn't really need that input because she's a new character. They could have just made that input anything else. You know, they could have made like a DP input, like a regular DP input, and it would have been fine. So I don't know why they did that.
Now, they've done everything right with King of Fighters 15 to me so far, right? And
yeah, that's I'm not like complaining about it. It's annoying, but it's if that's what it takes to get like rollback and like all the other good stuff that they've been doing, like jukebox or whatever, and like all that shit, like fuck it, do whatever change all my fucking inputs. I don't give a fuck.
Well, you can have rollbacks, but this input's gonna be a little weird.
DP is just freaking forward punch.
Oh god, yo, down DPs.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
The Marvel Infinite or whatever.
I'm ready for that.
Nah, I'm good. I need people to fucking actually do an input for once. What's funny is that I think they've done everything right with this game for the most part when it comes to marketing finally, and on top of that, they actually put they didn't just outright ignore the insane amount of like history they have. Just put a jukebox with all their music in should be a dead given, right? And these DLC costumes look really good. The DLC characters look fucking like home runs, right? Like fucking B Janet and like fucking Rock. Rock was my favorite character in fucking CVS 2.
Yeah, you played him in CVS too?
Yeah, that's all I ever
Wow.
played. I played him and fucking Sakura. And obviously when I played CVS 2, I was a little scumbag kid that didn't know nothing about being competitive. So I just fucking picked the character with like good heavy buttons. So I just picked Sakura and fucking Rock because Rock is stand heavy kick. I could anti-air my friend out the air. So my best combo was like anti-air heavy kick, jump in, heavy kick, heavy kick.
That's pretty sick.
So like picking Sakura and Rock was like the best thing I could do. But Rock was so cool. So when I wanted to, so I played Rock because he was really cool and he was really effective for me at my lowest possible level with my friend. I would just anti-air with the Raging Storm and like anti-air with Samurai because I can't open my friend up outside of like anti-airs and shit. So the only way I was gonna win is by anti-airing and sweeping. And so when I wanted to play him again in other KOF games, when I wanted to play him in KOF games, I could never see him in. I was like, he's not in 2002. He's a kid in 2002. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously, if I boot up 2003, he's gonna be in 2003, right? And I'm like, okay, well, he's not in 2003. I was like, all right. And then like KOF like 12 came out, and then he wasn't in there, and then KOF 13 came out. I was like, where the fuck is Rock? Is he not like a KOF character? I don't know nothing, right? This is before the internet was like new to me. Like I was like fucking.
He was still growing, dude.
Yeah,
In
I was like
2002, he was like a 3-year-old or something.
Nah, man, I was 14. So like I didn't use forums at all. Like I literally all knowledge about video games was absent. I didn't Google or use anything to learn anything. All I ever used the internet for was to like download Dragon Ball Z pictures growing up and like fucking, and then like I guess you check my email, my 14-year-old email, which is usually empty. So that shit, well, I didn't know nothing about King of Fighters lore. So then I found out, like, when I played King of Fighters 14 and he wasn't in there, I'm like, God damn, is Rock not, like, what's going on? And, I went back before then. I found out Rock was from Mark of the Wolves and shit. And I found out before King of Fighters 14 came out. But I had thought, like, for sure they were going to put Rock in the new game. Just because. Because I'm like, well, they haven't made a Mark of the Wolves in, like, since forever. So they're probably just going to stick up the new game. And when he wasn't in, I was like, this is some bullshit, man. I just want to play Rock. And then he was DLC for fucking 14. I was like, fuck, man. So I downloaded the DLC. I played him. He felt fucking fun. But by then, I had lost interest in getting good at KOF 14. So I didn't really get to, like, enjoy Rock. So this time, I'm getting them. First DLC patch. See, I think he's the first team. I think.
Yeah. They're the first team. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the Mark of the Wolves team.
I'm definitely gonna play Rock this time for sure. And he may be garbage, but I'm gonna try anyway. I'm just gonna try to make it work. My thing is though, what's actually really cool about SNK? I don't think there's any fighting game company that's releasing characters in like sets of 3 like this. Like getting 3 characters at once. Is that how it's gonna work? Is that how it worked before?
Yeah. Or did it? I forget. I feel like they did 3 at once before. Yeah.
Like 3 at once? Like that's crazy. Like we normally have to wait once a month or once every 3 months to get 1 character, but we're gonna get 3 in a month. Like that's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. It's a 3-on-3 game. You gotta get 3 characters.
You say that, but Marvel did not release their fucking Capcom did not release teams of 3. They sold us Schumacher Wrath and then Jill one at a time and then locked it away forever.
Yeah.
And then Infinite sold us a lopsided map, lopsided character select screen.
Oh yeah.
And then Street Fighter Cross Tekken, they sold. So like, the only reason I bring it up is because it's been a long time since I've gotten characters in a bulk. Because I was so used to fighting games releasing a new iteration and you get like 5 characters at once, right?
Yeah.
But as of late, it's been one every so often kind of deal. but we're kind of King of Fighters is kind of doing the 3 at once in bulk package kind of deal. So it feels good. It feels good to have 3 new characters to lab at once, because when you see this, this is not something anyone would complain about really. But I get like, so like, okay, let's just say in Strive, right? They release Biken. Everyone is playing Biken online at the exact same time. Everybody. But if they had released Gold Lewis, Biken, and fucking like Happy Chaos and Jacko at the same time, it probably wouldn't be like that. Because you would have 5 characters to lab.
I mean, it's going to be the same. Once those new characters launch, everybody's just going to run a team of those 3 or whatever. So, or maybe 2 of those characters. You know how it goes.
Yeah, they'll probably just do that shit. Unless the difference is though to me is that if in King of Fighters though, it seems like every character has a sole purpose, right? Like as a battery or like a like.
Not necessarily. There's certain characters that are definitely like better in like earlier or later on in your team, but I don't think that it's necessarily like set in stone what position that you run them in.
Okay, so they feel like they can just fucking run all 3 new characters and be like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're just running casuals, it doesn't really matter. You don't need to follow any strict guidelines as far as team construction goes.
Oh, hopefully, I just don't want to see fucking. Look. Here's the best way I can put it. Even when the first DLC package comes out, sure there'll be teams of 3, but I don't have to see entire lobbies with just B Gen only.
Unless she's really good, dude.
Unless she's really good, then maybe, you know.
Like if Marvel 3 came out today, everyone would be playing Doom.
Doom
just
is
like
so
back
sick,
then.
though.
You just gotta put him in your team, like just like utility.
Yeah.
If BJA was like that every single time, hell yeah, I'm gonna put her on my team no matter what. Even when I'm learning a new character, I'm gonna put her there in case I suck with my new character. The way it is, I think with new games, they do a really good job at balancing. Like I bitch about Strive and all these games or whatever, but when we look at the top 8 for all the majors and stuff, there's a lot of character variety. I don't know. All the devs are doing a good job with balancing games.
I agree. Yeah, I think they've gotten really good at it. I think especially like Samsho, I feel like they made a lot of really intelligent, really elegant, balanced decisions. KOF 14 as well. I think they generally did pretty good. There were a few patches where they were just like, what the fuck were you thinking? But like they corrected those pretty quickly. And I feel like the game was pretty good throughout most of its life. So I'm pretty excited for what they have in store for us in 15.
Yeah, Tam got a lot of buffs in Samurai Showdown. I didn't get to fucking enjoy. They're pretty significant. They could have changed a lot of things for me. Fucking SSMs that work. Like that'd have been nice. Like in the first season, I had a weapon flip that was punchable on any attempt by Isen. Like that shit was crazy. And then like Tam, like the last version, I think my running jab is like cancelable now. So now I can actually do like a throw fireball mix up, like a running throw fireball mix up. There's a lot of things they did for that dude. But there is one thing I will say that they fucked up. My anti-air fucking kick, the little fucking where he spins on his fucking fingers. It still doesn't work. It is upper body invincible, so it's supposed to be an anti-air, but it doesn't hit people until they land. And so when they land, they block. It's been that way since the game was out. It's been that way since they readjusted everybody's
No,
shit.
I feel like that move, it's not necessarily meant to be an anti-air. It's like it's just you throw it out to blow through like a poker, like a high poke or something like that.
I tried. It's too hot. It's too slow.
Okay.
It doesn't serve any function. By the way, you know why it doesn't make any sense? Because I could just do the heavy one, and then that's fully invincible and go forward.
Yeah, that does make sense. So he's got anti-airs though. He's got jump back heavy. He's got down medium, right? I feel like he isn't starving as far as anti-airs go.
I mean, all right, Yoshitora.
I'm just saying, they added a fat ass hurt box. You weren't there for that either. They added a fat hurt box to Yoshitora's jump C. It's much easier to anti-air it cleanly now.
I get it. Yeah, you're probably right. The only issue is that I have to crouch for me to do my anti-air.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So that's why.
I mean, if you jump back and hit the heavy, like even if you trade, you're like, Matt, that's really good for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted the move that's supposed to be an anti-air, really, because it works. Everything about it anti-airs except for the fact that it don't hit people in the air. That's really about it. When people jump at me, I just clean go through all their move, but then like they land and block it. So to me, it just makes no sense for that move to because the only reason I know it should have been that way is because when they reworked everyone's fucking DPs and shit to function specifically certain ways, that move was also in that list of moves, and it was like it's supposed to be anti. This is the anti-air kick because the heavy one's fully invincible, the light one's a fucking damage dealer, and the medium one's supposed to be anti-air, and it just doesn't hit people out the air for whatever reason. And obviously, Tam Tam to me is still a pretty good character, but that it just bothers me that there's a move that functions as. You know why it bothers me? Because there was another game I played called Street Fighter 4, and in Street Fighter 4 there's a character named DJ, and DJ, one of the final buffs they gave him was that his fucking close heavy punch forces standing, and its sole purpose was to force standing so you could do certain combos that wouldn't work when people are crouching as DJ. But you know what, Aroo? That shit don't hit people that crouch.
Word.
So it doesn't do anything. The
It
deliberate
goes over them, or what is it? It just whiffs.
it just whiffs. It just whiffs on crouchers point blank. And
That character was a fucking joke.
the character sucks.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do with him.
Competitively, they don't want you to play him, so they just didn't care. Just play somebody else.
That's one way to look at it. They're like, just pick Ga.
Yeah.
Like, why are you picking DJ for?
There's a big ass roster of characters. You play DJ.
Like, what are you doing? He only got in here because we put every ST character in there.
Yeah. No, I think KOF 15. I don't see a single character where I'm like, this character's a joke character, like a filler. I feel like the current roster, everybody looks like a threat on paper.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly going to be like low tier, bottom tier characters, but I don't think that any of them are like designed to be like that, I guess.
Yeah. They'll just not. The way. Normally, if your game's really well made and then you did your best, there are going to be low tier characters, and they're just going to be characters whose design does not take full advantage of the game mechanics, and they're just destined to be low tier no matter what, because they just don't work with the game mechanics. You have to redesign their whole character for the most part.
Yeah, and KOF is pretty notorious for having like people mostly only picking like top tier characters and shit like that in tournaments, which I never saw it as like a problem, but like a lot of people seem to have issue with it. So I mean, it'd be good if they can, make it so that you saw a lot more character variety and top 8s and shit like that.
Yeah. The scariest part about balancing team games is you don't want one character to serve that archetype better than the other characters. Like, you don't want to have like the best zoner and then everyone has to play them if they want to play the zoning game. Like, you want to have multiple characters serve that purpose too, depending on what styles you want to play. Like, I don't know, like a good example. I'm gonna go back to Dr. Doom, just because Dr. Doom has the best assists, like one-touch kills, good DHCs and all this stuff. He serves that purpose where if you need like a good assist and like a good tag in, you gotta pick him. And I just hope King of Fighters doesn't get to that where Iori's so good at using meter and he's just like good keep away. You have to play him if you want to use meter and play good keep away, because everybody else is just like subpar. I hope it doesn't get to that.
Well, it's probably gonna be like that in the first version of the game. When I first played KOF 14, man, let me tell you about Athena. That shit was so overpowering to me. The crotch heavy cycle ball was better than any zoning I could possibly conjure up with any character in KOF 14. So strong, and it was overwhelming. They eventually nerfed it, right? But it's gonna be that way. It's fair to me for it to be that way because you have to understand they are releasing like 38 characters out the gate, right? Or some shit like that.
Yeah, 39. Actually,
39.
The copy that they had me read at Frosty when I was like running ads, or when they were running ads and I had to read some shit, it actually said 40, and I'm pretty sure they got that directly from SNK, so I'm not sure what's going on with that.
They better sneak in
boss character.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they better sneak in some fucking boss character like Ignis or like Chrysalid or like Rugal or something. But or maybe the game will have its own boss character we don't know about, like Verse, right?
Yeah, they might.
But yeah, man, like they're releasing 40 characters at once, so they're gonna have a slip up on like who's the strongest for sure. And then
I don't really mind that. I think it's fun. Just the prospect of a new KOF game is just so exciting because there's going to be everybody's just a mad dash to see which character is really really strong, which ones have like hidden potential, that type of thing. And I think that's really, I look forward to that quite a bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. it's the first time I've had so many characters to play at the same time. That wasn't an old game that was already completed. Like when I played Blaze Blue when I played Central Fiction, I played Blaze Blue the first time it came out, but I had played since the first game. So playing Central Fiction, I'm like, whoa, there's like 40 characters in this game I can have fun with. So having that much out the gate with fucking King of Fighters is like insane. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I'm gonna have so much to do. I get to lab all these different things and have a good time. And finally, for the first time ever in the history of me playing an SNK game, I can get online and play people that I like.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Dude, that's so helpful for like Aroo grew up in like you're in Chicago, right? Did Chicago have like a good arcade scene and stuff?
So I didn't actually go out to anything until 2013 after like arcades are basically already dead. So I can't speak to that.
Yeah. Well, I was in SoCal, so we always had like a scene wherever we went. So I never really like focused on online play. So we didn't really bitch about online play until arcades died, which is like, around 2013 and shit. So it was weird when I found out like people have been bitching about it since forever. Like GGPO has been around forever. No one's used it up until like this last decade. And yeah, like people in the Midwest didn't really have a scene. People in the South didn't really have a big scene. Everyone in between. So I don't know. I felt like that's why for the longest time Japanese developers didn't really look at us as like the demographic that they were catering to. Because we were so spread out, and with them they had arcades everywhere, so they didn't really care about online play as much.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it took all the like Western hemisphere screaming at them to get that shit finally fixed, because like I feel like a lot of their sales they have to come from America, right? Because otherwise they wouldn't give a shit about us any less than they already do. I mean, or any more than they already. You know what I mean? So like.
Yeah, like the Americas make a big dent. I mean, just think about like Brazil and like Mexico and like United States, like all those three together is just a big fucking portion of their.
I mean, certainly it doesn't compare to China, right? But like, still, it's got to be sizable, and to have ignored us for so fucking long, it's like, who the fuck is running things over there? That's what I want to know. Who the fuck is the idiot that was like, nah, I don't want to invest in this rollback thing. It sounds like it's going to take too much time, too much resources. Fuck that, I would like a word with them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're thank God we're finally past that.
Yeah, we're past that. You're right.
Thank God. Like, because I did not want to have this podcast for a whole nother year yelling at SNK.
Yep.
Just fucking like, hey, did it again. They fucked it up. Like, somehow. Like, I didn't want to have that talk again. Luckily, when I played King of Fighters, like on the beta, it felt great. And it felt really fun.
It did.
And the net play felt good. Everything was fucking fantastic. That's the only reason I have my hopes so high, because the game looks beautiful. It fucking feels good to play. And it also felt good to play online. Like, that's all I could ever ask for a fighting game. Really. And the rest of the shit to me is extra. Like the jukebox shit, I'm glad they did it. But in reality, if the netcode was good and the game feels fun, and then to those two things are king over everything.
It really feels like the full package for me as like a KOF fan. It's a KOF fan that's also interested in like being competitive and that type of thing. I feel like 15 is just like the perfect storm. So I'm really, really excited for this shit to come out.
Dang. So are you gonna have the player mindset before the commentary mindset now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna approach it as like a competitor first, and then like I feel like if you do that, the commentary thing just comes naturally. At least it does for me, because I don't know. I guess it's. I feel like I have like an easier time kind of communicating my like the thoughts that I have about things in like a fashion that's, I guess, interesting to people.
I'm gonna try to be gross. I'm gonna try. I'm behind. I'm not like a KOF player, but I do know the moves, and I'm a good player in general. So hopefully that works.
Don't like I think it is like a lot of people do worry about the mechanics and everything. Like I don't know, like from experience, I feel like if you're fundamentally sound, you can pick up all the little nuances of KOF play, like the jumps, the anti-airs, and everything. Like it's frustrating at first, but like you'll get it. It just clicks one day or whatever. You watching someone else play, just learning off of them. Like I know everybody says the game's hard. And they even praise the fact that it's hard a lot of times, but I feel like it's just like any other fighter that you're trying to get into that's new. Like, there's nothing hard about it that isn't hard in Street Fighter or Tekken.
Exactly. I feel like people that say it's hard are people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because obviously there's things about the game that's actually difficult to do, but like it's just as difficult in other fighting games to learn stuff like neutral, how to anti-air, that type of thing. So it's like, it's I don't see it as being any more difficult than anything else.
Yeah, the King of Fighters games I did play, like they weren't like when I played 14 and I played 98, they weren't like insane. They weren't inherently any more difficult than any other fighting game. It's just that I guess from someone who's getting their ass whooped, it's just like it feels more difficult because it's more offense oriented. So if you can't defend yourself, then you're just gonna get fucking short hop heavy over and over again, and you're gonna be like, this is fucking ridiculously hard. Like you're gonna.
Offense is definitely strong. Don't get me wrong, but like it's also definitely possible to even as somebody that's not like an experienced KOF player, you can like just pick up on, oh hey, I can just press this button at this point and it'll anti-air pretty cleanly, pretty consistently every single time. It's like Andy said, if you have fundamentals, if you're like a smart fighting game player, you'll pick up on it really quickly, and it's really not that bad in my opinion.
It's not. To me, it's not. Because to me, it's just like any other fighting game I ever played. This is the only difference. It's like you would just have to. To me, when you're playing a fighting game, what actually makes it hard is different for every fighting game. Like even games that I don't like because I feel like they're easy, like Strive and fucking 5, they're not like easy for real. I just lose interest because the things I like to do don't require much practice in those games, so I get bored. But like at the highest level, the game is fucking insanely hard because if you fuck up one time, even when you're winning, you lose. So it's like really hard. But so at the end of the day, I can't be like, well, 5 is fucking just brain dead. Like, it's easy. Because it's super hard to be consistent in a game where you could lose even when you're winning. Like, at any moment.
Right.
So that's ridiculous.
I think that's one thing about KOF. Just not just 15, but I think the series in general, I feel like the ceiling is really, really, really absurdly high. The game is just incredibly deep. I feel like it's the level. There's so many levels to it. I was having this conversation, I think, with Andy and some other people in one of the Discords. How like, to me, I consider myself as like being a pretty mid-level player, like a mid-skill player. But a lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people feel like they'll never take a game off of me, that type of thing. And then I'm here like, well, sure, but there's all these other players that get like top 8s here. There's all the international players that are really strong, and I'll just never fucking like I won't be able to touch them. Not until like I practice really, really hard for another like year or two or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like it's crazy how deep the game is.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot you can do with King of Fighters. It's funny because like it's only 4 buttons, and the pressure is like I can look at the pressure and I can see what's going on. But the mind games that happen like moment to moment are so fast that I think there's just a lot of things you can do with that game. And there's a lot more open ways to approach offense and defense.
Yeah, there's just a ton of decision making. Every moment you're just constantly reassessing what's going on and like deciding what to do. You got all these different movement options. You got all these different ways to open people up or to defend yourself. And I think that it's really enjoyable. I think it feels like there's just always something to improve on, and I enjoy fighting games for that.
Yeah, that's actually why I really want to play KOF because I need that feeling.
KOF from like a spectator standpoint, it looks fucking sloppy because people are just hopping around, getting stray hits here and there, kind of like Samsho where you're just getting hits in the air, resetting over and over and over. But it's like it's that game's neutral, kind of like how Marvel you're just throwing out assists, air dashing back and forth or whatever until finally someone lands a hit. KOF's like the same way, like. All your hours of practicing this combo off of like a heavy jump in or whatever, you might land it once in like 30 games. And this is how KOF is. Like, you practice all these combos for like countless hours, and you'll hit 1 or 2 of them, and then the rest is just stray hits or counter hits or whatever. And
speak for yourself, bro. I be hitting mad combos in FP, bro.
Against competent players, I mean, like getting hits off of them, yeah. But I don't. I feel like the game, it gets more appreciated from players that play it as opposed to fans that just watch, because it's hard to understand what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're in their shoes and you know, okay, this is that bullshit setup this guy's doing off a hard knockdown. But like if you're a spectator, you're like, the fuck's he doing, hopping back and forth? But he's setting it up.
It does look like that. It literally looks like some
Yeah.
dude's fucking up.
Yeah,
It's hard even for me. I've been playing for a while to understand really like kind of the decision making. It's gotten easier over the past couple of years just because I've been getting better as a fighting game player at like a faster rate. But like I can't imagine for like a casual fighting game spectator, they I'm sure they watch and they just see nonsense, you know. So I feel like it's really important for commentary to be able to parse the gameplay and really communicate what's going on in a way that's interesting to viewers. And I think that's another thing that I'm going to have to really take seriously if I want this game to grow.
I think this is the hardest game to commentate, even harder than Marvel. Because Marvel, there's some downtime, certain things like the neutral.
During
KOF, I feel like
combos.
KOF, I feel like it's constantly like moving back and forth, one side of the screen to the other side. I don't know how you could commentate this, to be honest. Like,
have you ever seen the Hispanic dude commentating?
oh, it was like soccer, right?
Yeah, it's just like soccer. It's just
Yeah.
like soccer, man. That's how. Like when I listened to that, I was like, this feels like exactly how it's supposed to be done. Like it feels right.
Yeah, it's cool, but like I feel like it's really important to have like the analytical commentary as well.
Mhm.
Because if you don't have that, I think people aren't going to know what the fuck they're to be excited about besides like, oh, flashy super, flashy combo, that type of thing. And that's not what makes fighting games interesting to me, and that's not what makes fighting games interesting to a lot of other like higher level players, I think, or even mid-level players. And I think those are the people that we really need to get to understand KOF, so to give it a try and so that they play with us, you know?
Yeah, I think explaining the interaction is probably the hardest part, but it's like the most necessary, not like the combos. Like, why did these two buttons clash, or why did this out prioritize this? You know, why
Yeah.
can't he anti-air or whatever, right?
Or yeah,
Stuff like
talking
that.
about decision making. Yeah, I think that all that stuff is really important. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, I got an unrelated thing. So I don't know anything about Elizabeth. What is that character supposed to be like?
So in 13, which is the last game that she was in, she was like kind of like a mix-up oriented character. She had kind of crappy neutral, but like once she got a combo, she could like go for air resets to mix you up left, right, or she had a command grab as well. And she also had like an anywhere juggle super, so she could convert stray hits into decent damage. But those are basically her things. It's like crappy neutral, but sort of okay mix-ups once she got in.
She probably wasn't that good in that game then.
No, she wasn't great.
She was pretty sick early on, right? And then they kind of like toned her down a little bit.
I actually don't know. I don't know how she was in arcade.
Yeah, I remember Justin Wong played her. Like, he mained her, and he played really basic, just like air-to-air you and stuff, and he would just convert super every time.
The only thing I remember from arcade day, KOF 13 was drop kick.
Oh yeah, that too.
And then drop kick. They're fucking dead. There's a lot of people don't know nothing about that shit too. I literally only KOF 13 memories I have is when I remember I was getting kind of excited for it, even though I was pretty pissed about 12, and seeing KOF 13 and just watching Raiden just delete motherfuckers with a safe one frame ass looking drop kick and then doing it again and then winning the whole round. That shit was crazy. That's my most people remember like the Evo for fucking King of Fighters, but really I remember the drop kick because it's like the most absurd thing I've ever seen in almost any fighting game ever. Really, it is. To this day, a game of that era is still the most absurd thing I've ever seen get released in a fucking fighting game. A double drop kick tap that fucking like damn near wins the whole round for you, and it comes out like in 2 frames.
That show's pretty dirty. Not gonna lie.
It's so stupid. I've never seen something so fucking like. It's like if Shizamaru did Crazy Downpour, and he got 2 of them, and then when he let go, he just teleported you instantly, like no matter where you were. It's just so crazy to this day. I don't even know if Ryan was any good after they got rid of that, but like that was crazy. Was Ryan like winning anything at all after that, or no?
Not really. He was like not a very strong character afterwards.
Damn. They got rid of the full screen instant teleport drop kick that Half-Life, and suddenly he's not good. Who would have known?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he was garbage. I think Kane Blue River actually played him, and he was like, I don't remember how good he was, but I just know that he played him. I know Lazy Freddy as well played Raiden when he was fucking around. But yeah, I don't really know much besides that.
Yeah, the character. I remember never seeing when I got when the console version came out. I just remember never seeing him, and then because I watched people play that game a lot. I just never played it myself, so I just watched people play. But I just remember never seeing Raiden, and I just was like, damn, they must have just fucking got rid of the instant win. Well, I expect something in KOF 14 to be really dumb. The KO 15, because KO 14 had its own dumb thing. It had Nakaruru hitting the top of the screen with a crouch heavy slash and canceling into a completely safe low, over and over again. So I expect something like that in this game. Don't know who's gonna get it. Somebody in this roster is getting some stupid bullshit. Don't know who it is, but somebody's getting it. Playing Terry earlier in the beta, he felt ridiculous. Like his hit confirms were really good, and his damage output was really high. So I don't know if Terry's going to be that character, but somebody in the new King of Fighters game is going to have some stupid ass bullshit in the first month, and they're going to have to get rid of it. Don't know.
I felt like he kind of like negated the neutral with his buttons and his like special move.
Terry, yeah, man.
Yeah, he kind of like didn't play the neutral like everybody else, but
like everything he did just worked.
Yeah, that's a ton of damage. I think him and Yashiro really stood out. Him, Yashiro, Mary, those three.
Oh, yeah, Mary felt good, too. I was playing Mary. She felt really strong. But somebody's going to have some bullshit. I don't know who it's going to be. Mark my words. Somebody's going to have some really abusable bullshit that's just repeat with no consequence. Don't know who's going to be.
I guess it would be the new characters, right? I would say like Dolores and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I never played her.
Yeah, I remember watching some YouTube videos of Zhao Hai playing her, and he looked untouchable with the stuff that he was doing.
She looks like she's going to be a problem. I think, like you guys mentioned, I think those three that you mentioned at first, and then Dolores as well, they really stood out to me. Chris as well, I felt like he might be a problem.
Bates was playing, what the hell's that dude? I just call him Big Texas.
Oh yeah.
Antonov, yeah.
Yeah, he had a combo that you did raw max mode activate, and it was like pretty sick. He's like the only one that could do that so far.
Yeah, he looked pretty nuts. He didn't basically get to the shit I saw on the internet where people were just doing the like fucking mix-ups over and over again. That shit looked kind of nuts. But like I didn't get to see like too much shit outside of Terry being straight ridiculous. She felt like really crazy. But the Antonov looked pretty fun. The characters just all look fun. I think that's the most important part right now to me is that almost all the characters in the new King of Fighters games just look really, really fun. I kind of want to try them all. There's a couple I want to try more than others, but I really can see myself just trying every single one of them out.
Yeah, same.
Do you know if the game comes with like a trial mode thing? I never did 14's trial mode. I don't know if 15 has it.
Trial like combo trials?
Yeah, like combo trials and stuff.
Yeah, so 14 had like a really shitty combo trial mode where it's like the easiest combos in the world.
It all ends with like a level 3 into like some. It all ends when you're canceling your fucking move into like climax or some shit, right?
Yeah, so I think the hardest combo would generally be something like a few lights, max cancel, a heavy normal into EXs or whatever, and then maybe you get a super at the end, that type of thing.
Damn. I saw how people were coming up with K-dash combos, and I felt like the game was gonna go with that direction and have like more combos like that as opposed to 14 where everyone has like their conventional combos with like 2 EX moves into a super into a climax.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like other characters that might have really complex combos. I feel like Joe might, Long might. K-dash I think is kind of special in that like he's become like a combo creator character, So, maybe Kill might have some pretty long combos too. But I feel like a lot of these other characters, there is not that much sauce there,
mean, even Iori had some pretty cool combos in the beta.
Yeah, that's true. You already did
Yeah.
with like the fireball super juggles and
Yeah.
shit.
I'm not about long combos, so long as they're slightly difficult and they function, I'm cool with it. Because I think really the biggest hurdle for me in 14 was doing the jab max button. But now the game slows down when you max mode, so that's even simpler now.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that thing was messing me up the first day.
Yeah, it's way easier to do the shit now.
Yeah.
For the better.
That reminds me of like Street Fighter 4 with like the slowdown.
Yeah,
Yeah. Crazy.
I can't wait. Really realistically, I want to try every character for a little bit. But I think really what I'm gonna end up doing is just going on like I don't know what y'all's plans are the first day, but I'm gonna fucking pick like 3 characters I like and then just practice for 30 minutes and go online just to see.
Damn. All right. Yeah. I feel like with KOF you kind of have to do that. You can't just do training mode for like 3 hours. Think you're good. Because you'll realize most of the combos you train with, they're not gonna work on a human being.
There's that, and there's also the fact that you don't know what the fuck you're up against until you play against the person, because you don't know like what crazy stupid bullshit is gonna be catching you over and over and over again. So you need to experience it in order to know to lab against it.
Yup.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially when the game's like fast paced as this. People are gonna just abuse whatever crazy shit they can find as fast as possible.
Yeah, because like it's cool if you learn all your different combos and stuff on your characters, whatever. But like, it's not gonna matter if like you just lose to a fucking Terry player mashing burn.
Burn knuckle.
Gary playing mashing special moves nonstop. Yeah. Can't stop it.
Like,
Yeah, he's basically the soul of this game, whereas he's like designed for you to just do special moves.
My God.
I never really moved as Terry. I did fucking power wave and then I just chose a special move from after that to fucking do behind it. I moved across the screen with a fucking like just burn knuckle. I would do like power wave, burn knuckle. Now they jump full combo. Power wave, power dog. This is armored. Power wave, crack shoot. Like it's just like foolproof.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you're done with all that, you're already built like 2 bars.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, Terry's crazy. His hit confirms are gross too. It's the best part. It's like all his hit confirms are really easy, and they're also like they do a lot of damage.
Oh no, like my formula, at least when I was learning 98 and 02, was just like at first you play one character or you play 3 characters you like, and then you go online with them, and then if your team blows up, and then you look at what characters are fucking you up, and then you play those characters. So at the end of the day, you're playing 2 top tier characters and then 1 character you really like.
It's probably a good idea to do it just to learn all the characters in the game.
Yeah. Because 98 and 02 is kind of like developed now, but I assume 15, the first couple of weeks, everyone's just gonna play who they love, and then after like a few days or maybe even like a week, you'll start seeing like the cream of the crop start showing up and shit. Everyone would at least have like one really fucked up character, at least they know.
Yeah, I feel like since 15 feels in a lot of ways kind of just like an evolution of 14. We'll have like a pretty good idea pretty early on how strong a lot of these characters are. In my opinion, I don't think we'll be that surprised by certain characters.
Mm-hmm. With me, I'm going straight to like the easy mode tier list, the difficulty, like all the 4-star and 5-star characters first.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I think that's smart. I feel like it'd be good for like after week 1 or whatever, if we could just come up with a tier list of like actual like the easiness chart for a lot of these characters, because I don't trust SMKs,
Yeah, they put Leona up there.
Yeah.
Did you believe that part? Like
I feel like she's not that difficult, especially if she plays more like 14, because they gave her some really easy mode confirms.
I don't even know who's considered hard in King of Fighters. The hardest character I ever had to learn in King of Fighters was I was playing Angel in 14 when I was learning the game.
Oh, she's
really hard.
Yeah, I was getting pissed. I was like, why the fuck? Because I was playing Angel in the first version of 14. So I'm like, this fucking asshole is just doing crouch heavy cycle ball, and I gotta do a fucking like raging. I gotta do fucking like a a full fucking raging demon to get anything out.
I would say she's the hardest, but I think also characters like Vanessa and Kukri were also pretty difficult.
Shizuru is pretty hard too.
Chizuru did feel like she was going to be a little awkward. I don't really understand how to play her. Like it's not. She doesn't really play like a standard game plan, so I was having some difficulty with her.
Chizuru does look pretty cool though.
She does.
I played against a really good Chizuru player in '98, and I'm trying to like figure out how to describe the way she plays, but she throws out unsafe moves and she makes you go to punish them, and then she punishes you for punishing them.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's the whole game plan. Is she has like these illusions or whatever, right? But they're all punishable, but she controls when it ends. So it becomes
so you
like
try to like whip punish it, and
yeah,
then
you try to whip punish it, and then she
Okay.
hits you. Right? Yeah, it's funny. It's just like, damn, this is a fucked up way to play KOF, but
Yeah, or like you'll like throw out a sweep or something from full screen without seeing anything, just to like maybe stuff a clone, and then she'll
Yeah.
punish it or something like that.
exactly. It's like it's like fighting
That's
Eno
funny.
in Guilty Gear. Where you know a high or a low is coming, but you don't know when. But you know it's coming.
I might try her out too. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty cool. She just looks cool when she's doing shit. Cause she was in 2000. She was in 2003, and I didn't understand her character because there was two versions of Chizuru. There was like a Chizuru that was like, I guess, the '98 classic version, and then there was another one that didn't work the same way.
Mhm.
And when I tried playing her shit was so crazy I didn't really know what to think. Because like I was like 14 and I had no fucking competitive experience or anything. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck this character's about. This just looks nuts. But she looks really cool. She looks really good in this game too. Like she just visually looks good. A lot of the character models in this game look fucking really good. Leona in her fucking old costume looks fucking really good. Ori looks really good. Terry looks really good. Like Elizabeth looks really good. There's a lot of characters just look really good. Like
I
visually.
think you'll like the way she plays. She's like extra annoying. You're into that archetype.
Be an annoying asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd love it. It's like you see people whiffing anti-airs trying to like get you, but you're getting them back.
That would be. I like being tricky.
Yeah.
I like having good neutral and being tricky.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like she has to expose herself to that much risk by playing that game plan. And then she has like a real DP as well. And once they do close the gap a little bit and manage to get in, so she might be good. I don't know. I'll have to give her another shot because I find her intriguing.
I'm gonna definitely give it a
Yeah.
try then. If I pick her and Kukri, I'm just gonna be the most annoying asshole to play.
Yeah, that
against.
sounds super annoying to play against.
If I get her and Kukri.
Oh, Kukri's pretty tough. Not to say that you can't play him or anything, but he's gonna take some time, I think, for you to like figure out how to like open people up with him and shit like that.
No, you're right. I already tried in 14, and I just didn't understand how to use his gameplay. And then when I saw someone else figure it out, I was like, oh, this makes way more sense.
Oh
Yeah,
there's
you gotta watch
there's
that Dechimo.
Yeah, Dechimo. That dude is really good with that character.
It looks really cool when he's doing it. When he's doing everything,
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks.
He's doing the
fucking-
illusions or whatever on your
Yeah.
knockdown. You have to guess on your wake up. It's crazy.
That shit looks so cool. I don't know if he's gonna play exactly the same in the new game, but honestly, this game, like Aroo said, it feels like KO 14 plus. It's like it feels like the natural progression to 14, right? It feels like there was an ultra, like you know how we got ultra and they just added a bunch of mechanics, and then this feels like ultra KOF 14, where like they just added some good shit in.
Oh, it's added red focus in.
Yeah,
they
let's
call
ruin
it,
the game for no reason.
Yeah. Like Shatter Strike.
Fucking bad. Street Fighter 4 Ultra was so fucking whack. Fucking ruined it like a shit cherry on top. The last second.
Yeah. Oh, but I think with the online play being really good, you get exposed to like play from like Mexico and stuff, and they're always good at KOF.
That's the best part. We can play people
Yeah.
and fucking
Like-
see what it's like.
Yeah. So when I was learning 98 and 02, I would go into like I guess the lobbies and play against a lot of international competition. It was like the quickest way to learn. It's just like you watch what they do because they've been playing this for a long ass time.
I told you about Esteban Rodriguez, all right? That dude
Oh yeah.
pushed my shit in really bad. Fucking Geese. And he just taunted every time.
Yeah,
he played like Geese and like Yuri and like some other character, and he was he was really happy to fucking beat my ass with all the shit.
He left like an impression on you where you're still talking about him till this day.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I'll never forget Esteban. You know why I remember Esteban Rodriguez? He just has a regular ass Latino name. That was his Steam name, Esteban Rodriguez. Like, oh,
there's a lot of people like that. I'll like run into a bunch of. I'll see like the custom games list, and I'll see just a bunch of like random ass fucking like names like that. It's just kind of funny.
Well, you want me to tell you my favorite guy I ever ran into in fucking King of Fighters 98? I my favorite dude I've ever ran into in King of Fighters 98, or in general. Actually, he's the best dude I've ever ran into in any fighting game. Dude, this dude, I saw the lobby open, and I was like, all right, a lobby. There's only 4 lobbies open. I'm like, well, this guy's connection's okay. You know what his name was? His name was Boss Player. And I'm like, all right, Boss Player. Let's see what this dude's about. Dude,
I know this guy. He plays only boss
characters. He played all the boss characters in a band.
Dude, it's the best because he's not like hiding it from you. He's telling you what he's gonna do to you.
Yeah, dude, he immediately locked in Orochi Iori. He locked in like fucking Orochi and like Gonitz, and I just like, you know what? I think I'm good on this. I just fucking left.
Yeah, I ran into that guy in 02, and then I got infinited by like all his characters. I knew everybody's infinite.
That dude was nuts. I was like, Boss Player, huh? Well, let's see what he's about. Boss character. It's like, okay, you know what? Well, he didn't lie to me. So I can't be too mad at him. Oh, man. I feel like I don't get shit like that in newer fighting games. I just feel like when you play the more niche fighting games, you just run into people like that.
The cryptids, yeah.
Yeah. You're like, this dude's been waiting for this moment. Fuck my
it's
shit.
Funny because like getting into KOF, it's like you run into all these different people from all over the world with like, you don't know what the fuck they've been through, what kind of life they've lived, but like they're playing this game KOF, and it's like it's totally alien the way that they play, the way that they approach things, the way they think about things. Even if they're not necessarily like a competitive player, it's like interesting to kind of see like how they experience the game in their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, they just developed some shit completely separate from what we know, right? Mm-hmm. And they came up with their own style, and then now they just play on. That's the only game they play. They never bother to learn other fighting games. They just play KOF 98.
Exactly.
And so we have this insane specialist separated from everything else with strategies we've probably never seen, like just lurking. And so, of course, you're either going to lose really bad or he's just going to be not good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, King of Fighters. King of Fighters is like the ultimate game for me with that, because you know there's so many versions of King of Fighters out there, and then King of Fighters is an international game, like you said, so you can really just run into absolutely anybody at any moment and be like, yeah, I played 98, let's play, and this dude's like fucking insane because he's only played KOF 98 for 20 years, right, or some shit like that.
It's like that shit. Like, you ever seen a Third Strike specialist play Third Strike?
Yes.
Like, I feel like I don't know how to play fighting games. Whenever I play against a guy that's been playing Third Strike, I was like,
so I love Vampire Savior, right? I don't boot it up very often, but it's probably one of my favorite fighting games, like all time. I booted it up like a month and a half ago just to play, and when I was playing, I randomly got like invited to a game by this Japanese guy, and I was like, oh, let's play. And this dude was playing fucking Morgan, and Morgan sucks, but he was hitting me with every instant air raging demon every time, and he was ridiculous. And he was fucking my ass up like really bad. And he was like, the game was like jittery, and he was still able to do it. And I asked him, like, I'm like, who the hell are you? And you know what he said? He goes, Japanese, middle class.
That's OD.
I was like, damn.
It's a salary man.
Yeah, he's a salary man. He just gets off of work and then just beats people's asses on Fightcade and goes to bed.
Like 20 years ago, like the Daigo parry was the sickest shit. Now you see like everyone trying to Daigo parry Justin whenever he gets on Fightcade.
Yeah, because this game's been out for so long, right? So there's just
well, because they know that they're gonna give him the opportunity, or he's gonna give them the opportunity to fucking do it, and then if it works, then he's gonna turn it into content.
Yeah, that shit's sick. The fact that they know how to do it, just like I still can't do that shit. And there's so many people that do it now, where it's just like they could stop whenever they want and just kill you, but instead they go for the full parry because they know they can.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Justin Wong's definitely gonna give it to him. He's a content creator now through and through.
Yep.
So he's gonna
Oh,
do
yeah, that
anything it
shit's
takes
funny.
to make a PogChamp face. Man. Well, I think we're good. I appreciate y'all coming. It's been 2 hours, so I think I've taken enough of y'all's time. I appreciate y'all, taking time out of y'all's busy schedule to come talk about King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown. Hopefully, y'all will be willing to talk again after King of Fighters comes out to talk about how you feel about the game.
Dude, we could do like a full review. How much I hate it.
Yeah,
how much
let's talk
98
about
is
it.
better.
We could talk about this
we'll
shit.
be all back playing 98 by then.
Honestly, 98 it's a very difficult act to follow, but I am going to give it a very honest shot. So
we'll talk about it. Like I said, we can get back on and see, like, hey, this game's great, or we can be like, you know what, this game is fun. I don't think I like it more than 98, but it's still fun. We could always see how this plays out. But I'm interested. I'm always interested to see how my friends look at games because I'm so jaded that I need somebody else to like give a different opinion, so I don't sound like an asshole.
Yeah.
But,
right. If everything was up to you, everything would be like a C tier game, right?
Yeah, I would only have like a couple games that like that are only worth playing because I look at everything as like, well, is this entertaining me? No. Well, it's boring. Or is this pandering in some kind of way? No. Well, I mean, yes. Okay, it's whatever. So I need like other opinions to come in. Like, you know what, man? You ever thought about it? It's not that bad, really. I need those kind of opinions. But appreciate y'all being on. I'll call y'all back in here probably after King of Fighters gets released because it's only like a week from now. I think like 2 weeks from now. A week and 3 days. I can't remember.
14th for like pre-release, right?
14th. Yeah. So that's in 8 days.
Yeah, 8 days. Oh, hey,
8? Yeah,
how do you get the pre-release? Is it from ordering the deluxe version?
Yeah, I think so, right? The most expensive version it comes out.
Yeah, you need to get the digital deluxe edition to get it on PS4 to get early game.
Oh, you don't get it on Steam early?
No, sir.
Nah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Damn, they still like. I'm like, okay. You know what? I can't be too mad because I should be thankful we're even getting a fucking PC version within the same year.
Yeah.
Because we know how it was before. You wait like 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe.
All right. Well, are y'all gonna get on PS4 before y'all go? Are y'all getting on PS4?
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah. I have a spot near my house that I have a little earlier, so try to get it.
Yeah, I'll see if it's possible for me to get it earlier as well, but I'm not counting on it, so I'll probably just get the digital deluxe once it gets close enough to the time.
Fuck, I'll just be a PC peasant and just play 11 days from now, I guess. Which is better than 3 years. But all right, appreciate y'all who are listening to the podcast. It was fun having Aroo and Andy come on. Appreciate y'all coming on. Hopefully y'all be willing to come do this again, like I said, whenever the game is released, so we can talk about the game and get y'all's feelings on it. But catch y'all later.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
All right,
Bye.
thanks, dude.